So welcome to this video as part of the Quickstart process in getting your first campaign up and running. Now, in the previous video, we've shown you how to upload your webinar, which would have had the call booking link in for the campaign. But what we need to do firstly, before we actually kind of connect it to the campaign, so when people opt in, they see the webinar, is we just want to check it's all been ready to go and it's all okay. So all we need to do here is just pop over to the media tab, which is in the campaign section. So campaigns, then the media tab. And what you're looking for here is look for the video that you've uploaded, in this case your webinar, and just check it says videos ready, because that basically means it's ready to be connected to a campaign. Now, if it's got a rendering time in there, it says video rendering, sometimes it can take up to 2 hours to render, so just be aware of that. We have a timer on there that counts down. It can be as long as 2 hours 20 is our rough estimation, but it just depends on how many videos we're having to render at any one point. And like I say, rendering basically means all we're doing is converting it into lots of different formats to basically play really well on old browsers, new browsers, laptops, desktops, mobiles, iPhones, iPads, Google phones, whatever device someone wants to view it on. We've converted a file to make it as optimized as possible for them to have the best viewing experience and ultimately watch the webinar and book the call. So that's why we have to do that process. But please make sure before you proceed that the video is ready, otherwise you cannot proceed. So just wait till that goes green, and once that's green, you're good to go on to the next step. So head back to your campaign list. And now what we need to do, like I say, is connect the webinar. There's two things we need to do. Connect the webinar to this campaign, because we've obviously put this booking link in here, but we now need to connect the webinar to this specific campaign. So all we're going to do here is click on the edit button. And again, we've got a nice little visual clue here to help you, which basically shows a little red hand under the content. If it was green, then obviously, or not there, then obviously like these things here are all green and it says complete, so that knows it's fine. But on this content here, it's saying you haven't got any content. So what we need to do here is go to the content tab by clicking there. Then go down and select the video of here, in this case my webinar demo. That's the webinar. I click the use selected webinar. It then shows in here. Okay, so now I know I've got that. Then the other thing I need to do is head back here to pages, and I also need to pop on over to what I call the webinar room. Okay, now I don't know if you remember in the previous video, I just said just jump over this bit, we'll come back to it. Well, now we're back to it, because what we need to do is the webinar is going to play automatically every 15 minutes. But obviously within that webinar, you gave them a call booking link. And you also would have mentioned that a button would popped up below the video for them to click as well. Okay, so it just gives them both options depending on what technology they're on. If they're on an old mobile phone or an old desktop, the button might pop or not, vice versa. So either way, at least, you know, we're covering both bases. That's why we get to put the link in the slide. Now, what is important here is that we have to configure what time that pop-up is going to pop. This little button will pop up below the video at the given time where you make the offer to do the call. Now, we do that from a technology point of view because we can, but also it makes it more kind of real that actually you're only offering this call because they've watched to the point of the webinar. Whereas if we showed it straight away, that wouldn't look very professional. So at least this way we can kind of time the button to pop up at the right time when you mention, oh, there's a button popping up below, or you can go to this link to book a call with me. Okay, so what we need to do is tell the system what time we want the button to pop up with, because it will configure everything else. It will make the button, it will put the button on the page at the right time, but we just need to tell it. And obviously when they click that button, it goes over to your booking page where they can book the call. So what I recommend you do is you pull up your webinar and do this kind of on your desktop or wherever, and just kind of drag through it and just find out what time you first mention said webinar opportunity to book a call. So somewhere around here, again, doesn't have to be 100% precise. So around here somewhere, 52 minutes 10 seconds, let's say, is roughly when we start. 52 minutes and 11 seconds. So now I know that. It's going to be different for each one of you, so obviously you'll need to put in your own time in here. 52 minutes 11 seconds, that's now done. And then all I'm then going to do now is hop on over and click publish. Okay, I'm then going to scroll down and click save. Save again. Okay, and that's now confirmed everything. The campaign is now kind of live. This has obviously got the call booking link, so the button will now pop up at the right time. We've got the webinar URL, which is where we'll send people to register. So that will go in your Facebook ad, or if you're sending emails, or wherever you want to publish your webinar and get people to opt in for it. And it's all fully configured. You can view it at any point should you wish to in your stats, or you can click on the link and actually view it yourself and opt in. Something that I recommend you do if you wish to, just to test it for yourself, see the process. But it's all set up, all the campaign is ready to go. There's just two more elements we need to do from a back office point of view to ensure that we can track, and also that obviously we give it the right time zones and time frames to allow people to book calls based on your availability. But that's got your campaign part set up. Just a couple more things to do, and then you're fully set up with your first campaign. So go and watch the next videos in the series, the Quickstart, and you will get everything set up.